Good morning and welcome to News Lounge. I'm Anna Fleetwood.
And I'm Miles Maguire. Good morning.
And can you believe that this, heartbreakingly, is the last week of News Lounge for the year?
I know, I cannot believe it's been 6 weeks. It's gone incredibly quickly.
So quickly. We know you're going to miss us, but we will always be in your hearts.
I know, don't worry, we'll come back next year hosting at the movies. We've replaced Margaret and David.
Yes, we will continue to bring you reviews of movies we have yet to see.
Yeah, exactly.
But more importantly, now we turn to the best part of the show. My all-time favourite.
The party boy, Connor Tobin.
Oh, thanks guys. Morning everyone. Well, it is pretty sad that it is our last week. Anyway, but in sport this morning, Leighton Hewitt has thrown his support behind troubled tennis star Bernard Tomic, and unfortunately the Raw have lost again, but that's all coming up in sport.
Oh, poor Raw. They're having a bad trot, aren't they?
I feel like we've been discussing that one a fair bit.
That has come up often over the last 6 weeks. But we'll move on to the woman who puts the news in News Lounge, Rebecca Wilson. How are you?
I'm great, thanks. Really devastated this is our last week, but happy to be here once again. Making news today, Monday the 10th of December 2012. The leader of the Comanchero biker gang has been caught by police following a nationwide manhunt. 28-year-old Mark Bottle was arrested on the Gold Coast yesterday after police were called to a domestic disturbance. Bottle and a 26-year-old alleged associate were arrested by a special emergency response team on Hope Island. The two will appear in Southport Magistrates Court today. Police are hoping to extradite them to New South Wales to face charges in relation to a number of shootings. 5 people were killed and a young girl left orphaned after a horrific crash on the Gold Coast. A vehicle smashed into another car which had broken down in the safety lane along the Pacific Motorway at Coomera. Aged in their late teens and early 20s, 4 of the victims died when the broken down car burst into flames. The person driving was also killed. A 16-year-old boy managed to escape the burning car. Today FM have held an emergency board meeting to discuss what action should be taken following the suicide of a nurse caught up in a prank phone call by the Sydney radio station. All advertising on the station has been suspended. The presenters posed as the Queen and Prince Charles in a prank phone call to the London hospital where the pregnant Duchess of Cambridge was staying. The nurse who transferred the call was later found dead in her apartment after an apparent suicide. Presenters Mel Gregg and Michael Christian are said to be deeply shattered by the events. Ipswich Mayor Paul Pasali has reopened the long-running debate on whether Ipswich's water should contain fluoride, calling on the community to voice their opinions. Moreton Bay Regional Councillor James Horton also wants fluoride removed from these regions' water. Queensland's drinking water has contained fluoride since the Black government made it compulsory in 2008. However, Health Minister Lawrence Springwood recently put the power back in the council's hands. A representative from the Queensland Dental Association said that fluoride is safe and is an effective means of reducing dental decay. The Sunshine Coast has overtaken Hobart as the 10th largest city in Australia. The 2012 State of Australian Cities report showed the Sunny Coast has seen a 2.6% growth between 2001 and 2011. 5.4% of Queenslanders now call the Sunshine Coast home. Surprisingly, the report also showed 14.2% of private dwellings are unoccupied, the largest of any major Australian city. Maryborough Aquatic Centre lifesavers are being praised after saving a young boy from almost drowning. The boy, believed to be aged 5, was found floating face down in a heated pool just over an hour after the centre opened its doors for the first time. After noticing the boy, lifesavers reacted quickly, dragging the boy from the water and immediately started performing CPR. The boy was taken to Maryborough Base Hospital and it is believed his condition is non-life-threatening. Police have arrested over 400 people in a crackdown on alcohol-related violence across the weekend. The annual police operation targets alcohol-induced violence and antisocial behaviour in an effort to make people feel safer. 1,200 uniformed and plainclothes police patrolled the state with 441 arrests made. 28 were for assault-related offences and 119 for drink driving. Pubs and clubs were also fined for breaching liquor licensing laws. Police are appealing for information on a 77-year-old Brisbane man who has been missing since last Monday. It is believed he caught a bus to Brisbane CBD last Monday, but he hasn't made contact with his family since. Police think he may be in the Gold Coast area. His family and police are concerned for his well-being as he suffers from a medical condition. He was last seen wearing a white t-shirt, blue and white checkered pants and black slippers, and was carrying a leopard pattern shoulder bag. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or through crimestoppers.com.au. Animal welfare groups are warning Southeast residents after a number of family dogs have been stolen from households for use in illegal dog fights. Staffordshire Bull Terriers are the prime targets because of their aggressive reputation, with 85 reported missing across the state. The Queensland Staffy and AmStaff Rescue said some dogs have been so badly injured they need months of rehabilitation. In a win for procrastinators, it's been found that spending office hours looking at pictures of cute animals could actually help improve performance. A recent study from Hiroshima University on students has found a link between performing set tasks with better time and care with viewing pictures of kittens and puppies. The study was called The Power of Kawaii, the Japanese word for cute, and found baby animals give us a narrowed attention focus that in turn helps us to concentrate. And in exciting news, teacher Phil Rourke, who appeared on the show last Friday, has successfully broken the world record for the fastest egg and spoon mile at Bald Hill State School yesterday. Phil cracked the records with an official time of 6.15 for the single-handed and 6.56 for his dual-handed run. His run was all in an effort to raise money for Movember.
Well, I was concentrating so hard on the egg, I wasn't counting the laps. I needed someone to keep shouting the laps just to reassure me. The biggest fear, I think, is just dropping the egg. Absolutely, yeah, we did the war cries, we did the Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. People of Brisbane, be fun, folks. Do crazy things, just enjoy life, you know.
Some excellent news there, and that's all we have in the news today, but now back to you.
Thanks, Beck. Well, great to see that Phil broke those records. I don't know if, actually, none of you would know this, but in high school, Phil was my physics tutor, and I love Phil. But really, could you imagine my parents entrusting my physics education to Phil?
I'm just impressed by that feat.
No,
I can't think of any more egg-related puns.
It was excellent.
It was,
Excellent.
indeed.
Is there any more than that? Anyway, we'll keep thinking on the egg-related puns, but now it's time for weather with Connor Tobin.
Thanks, guys. Well, Brisbane can expect a few showers today. It will be cloudy with light to moderate east to southeasterly winds. The city can expect a top of 28 with the Bayside reaching 27. The Gold Coast will also be cloudy with a few showers and a top of 27. The Sunshine Coast can expect a few showers but will remain warm and 28 degrees. Ipswich also cloudy and a few showers and a max of 30. Around the state, Cairns will be 32 degrees, fine and partly cloudy. Townsville also 32, mostly sunny. Mackay will be partly cloudy and a top of 31. Rockhampton will see a top of 32 and partly cloudy. Another hot one for Mount Isa reaching 41 degrees with a late shower or storm. In capital cities around... Actually, that's all time for weather now. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Connor. Well,
Thanks, Connor.
For now, we will have to exit to a break, but we'll see you in a few minutes.
Extraordinary. Welcome back to News Lounge. Well, since the 1920s, Brisbane's Sherwood Arboretum has been a source of lots of pleasure and a variety of trees and shrubs for the public to enjoy.
That's right. Joining us today is Peter Hayes, the president of the Friends of the Sherwood Arboretum Association. Thank you for joining us, Peter.
Pleasure.
So, Peter, what makes this spot just upstream of the Indooroopilly Bridge so important as a part of Brisbane's city landscape?
Yeah, well, the Sherwood Arboretum is actually Brisbane's and Queensland's first arboretum dedicated to Australian native trees. And so it's a very special place. It was a special place in 1925 when it was established and still is. And we'd like to see that continue to grow and enhance the collection of specimen trees that we have there.
So you're president of the Friends of the Sherwood Arboretum Association, and do you go by FOSA, is that right?
FOSA, yes.
FOSA.
Yeah.
So what is the aim of your organisation?
So, yeah, the aim of it's a community-based organisation, and the aim is to essentially help the council. The Arboretum is responsibility of the Brisbane City Council, and we're helping the council to enhance the collection and to look after the habitat in the Arboretum, and generally make people aware of the values of an important part of Brisbane's natural heritage.
And can you explain to us the difference between just a regular park and an arboretum, like the arboretum at Sherwood?
Yes, the point of an arboretum is a place to display trees, and that's why the Sherwood Arboretum was originally established. So, as well as having the tree collection the valuable tree collection that we have there, it's a great place because it has a river frontage, it has native habitat, it has freshwater lakes. It's actually a recreation place as well as a special place for displaying trees. So you can do everything in the Arboretum. It's a fantastic place to go and visit.
How big is it, Peter?
It's 15 hectares and it's within walking distance of the Sherwood railway station. So it's easy access from the city and quite a good place for families, place for kids to play as well.
We noticed when we were having a look researching for this interview that on most maps it doesn't come up as the Sherwood Arboretum.
That's correct. It actually says Sherwood Forest Park, so if you look it on the map you actually can't find it, and a number of people have told us that they're quite frustrated going around looking for the Sherwood Arboretum. It is signposted by the Brisbane City Council as the Sherwood Arboretum, but on the map it says Sherwood Forest Park. So we're at the present time trying to do two things. One is to get the name officially changed to be the Sherwood Arboretum, because everybody locally knows it as the Sherwood Arboretum. But the second point is to give recognition to the fact that it's a special place. It's an arboretum. It's not like one of the other 2,000 parks in Brisbane. Yeah. It's a special place, and that's what we're trying to do at the present time.
Peter, can you tell us how people can get involved in the petition? How can they contact you guys?
Yeah, we don't have a website at the present time. That's something we're working on as part of the Friends. But we have an email address, ilovesherwoodarboretum@gmail.com.
Right, excellent. So what's the next step from here to get the name officially changed?
As you say, we've started a petition from local residents, and we're working with council to go through the official processes to get the name changed, and we intend to present that petition to council in February when it next sits.
How far along has the petition come? How many signatures do you have?
We have over 650 signatures at the present time, and we're still looking for more. Yeah.
Well, the Sherwood Arboretum is well loved, especially in the local community, and it's a rich part of our heritage. What is in its future? What are the plans for the Sherwood Arboretum going forward?
Yes, we've been working closely with council over the last few years, and we now know all of the specimen trees in the Arboretum. They've been surveyed and audited. We know where each specimen is. We've made plans with council about planting in the future to enhance the collection, so there'll be more specimen trees put in. There will be a celebration in 2015. That'll be the 90th birthday of the Sherwood Arboretum, and we're working towards that event to enhance the profile of the Arboretum. Yeah. And we'd like to make sure that the council then takes on board the future management sustainability of the Arboretum. So it's not just the friends and volunteers who are looking after it, but becomes really part of the whole of Brisbane's, if you like, heritage and values, natural values.
Do you find that the Arboretum attracts a lot of native fauna because it provides a place to preserve native trees as well?
Actually, the freshwater lakes in the Arboretum, there used to be a swamp, by the way, in 1925. There was a swampy area within the Arboretum. That was excavated by council, and now we have some beautiful freshwater lakes. And there's over 120 varieties of bird species come visit those freshwater lakes. So it's a great spot to go in bird watching. It's one of the favourite or prime spots for bird watching in Brisbane.
Yeah.
You spoke about coming up to the 90th anniversary of the Arboretum,
yeah,
which made me wonder who started it. Did it just happen organically, or?
No, it was identified as in the early days in 1925. it was the if you like, the elders or the leaders of Brisbane and the then, I believe, State Minister responsible for forestry decided that it would be a good idea to establish a place where we could display Australian native trees as opposed to exotic trees. So it's different from the Botanic Gardens, which displays trees from all over the world. So the Sherwood Arboretum was meant to display what Australian native trees look like, because in those early days many of the people coming to Queensland were from overseas, and they were not familiar with Australian trees and how beautiful they are, and what essentially what they could do by growing those trees.
I was wondering too, Miles touched on this when he asked you about attracting native fauna to the area. Does the Arboretum have particular significance for the local biodiversity?
Yes, well, it's in a rather unique position because, as I say, it's close to the river. So we have habitat, a riverine habitat, so we have birds and wildlife coming up the wildlife corridor along the Brisbane River, and then up the creek lines to the freshwater lakes. And so we have a variety of habitats there, and the Friends of Sherwood Arboretum will be working over the next few years to actually enhance that habitat and make sure there's a continuum, if you like, so that the birds and animals can go up from the riverbank to the creeks.
Yeah, and it's obviously a great place for local residents and for families around Brisbane to come and just enjoy themselves and enjoy nature. So we're hopefully going to be able to preserve that in the future.
Absolutely. So just quickly tell us, if people were to make their way over to the Sherwood Arboretum, what kind of activities can they do there?
Well, they can look at the freshwater lakes. We have 4 varieties of turtles as well as the birds in there. We have recreation areas, so there's open space. There's somewhere for the kids to play. There's playground equipment there. There's walks along the riverbank, access for disabled people along the pathways. So it's really got everything. It's a great place, and lots of people go there. It's one of the most popular parks in Brisbane.
Great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Peter. We certainly hope everyone will make their way over to the Sherwood Arboretum, and if you want to sign that petition, it is ilovethesherwoodarboretum@gmail.com.
That's right. Now, don't go away. After the break, we'll be talking to one of the stars of I Am Here, which recently closed at the Billy Brown Theatre in Brisbane. We'll see you then.
Welcome back to News Lounge. If you've just joined us, we've been speaking with Peter Hayes, the president of the Friends of Sherwood Arboretum Association, although more conveniently known as FOSSA.
That's right.
There is a petition to have its name officially changed to the Sherwood Arboretum, and if you want to sign that petition, you can email Peter at ilovesherwoodarboretum@gmail.com.
That's right.
Lots of mouthfuls there for me today. I'm a bit sick, look.
Yeah, we're not just emotional that it is our last week, and it's actually quite
I'm struggling. So. Bear with me.
Well, anyway, now to our next segment. We will be throwing over to Connor Tobin to bring us some sports headlines. What have you got for us, Connor?
Thanks, guys. Well, 53-year-old Peter Senior has weathered the wild weather and won the Australian Golf Open. Play was suspended for 3 hours due to 80-kilometre winds which blew over a television tower and crushed a marquee. Although Senior confessed he was reluctant to play in conditions, he said he does thrive in them. Senior finished the last hole under spotlights with an even par 72, 1 shot ahead of Brendan Jones. In football news, the Socceroos have won against Taiwan to secure a win against Taiwan over the weekend at Hong Kong Stadium. Australia took the match 8-0 and will now join Japan, China and host South Korea in the showpiece next July. A successful penalty from Shinji Ono saw the Raw lose another match, unfortunately, on Saturday, with Western Sydney winning the match 1-0. Raw coach Rado Vidicic is set to receive extra coaching staff to assist in getting the team back on track. The Hobart Hurricanes blew their opposition away last night, winning by 8 wickets against the Brisbane Heat at the Gabba. The win was a surprise for the Hurricanes as the team were missing some key players. And the Pine Rivers Bears have claimed back-to-back premierships in their Brisbane Rugby League division. Coach Dave Mills said it was a difficult journey to the 2012 premiership, with the standard of play constantly improving. As pre-season training wraps up for another Christmas, Mills says his team remains hungry to win and they have their sights set on moving up in the Premier grade. Former world number 1 Leighton Hewitt has thrown his support behind troubled tennis star Bernard Tomic after he was dumped by Pat Rafter from the Davis Cup last week. Hewitt says Tomic still has a chance of being in the top 10, though he has a lot of areas to improve on, and backs Rafter's shocking decision. Hewitt has denied rumours in his own career of allegedly quitting after next month's Australian Open. And that's all we have time for in sport, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor. Well, last Thursday we showed you some rehearsal footage from a play that was on at the Billy Brown Theatre over the weekend called I Am Here. Our reporter Amy Soltis was there and she caught up with some of the cast. Let's take a look.
I Am Here is a powerful, emotive and inspiring play performed by 6 young African refugees currently living in Australia. They share their personal stories of heartaches and hardships in this raw production by the Queensland Theatre Company. From their dangerous upbringings in Africa to their journey to Australia, these performers show how they overcame it all to build new lives here in Brisbane.
Hi there, Levi speaking. Hello.
My name is Consi.
Eric. I'm Pacific. We have a message. It is not fiction, it's real. And I think it's going to give everybody another perspective, another chance to review their thoughts, because we want to take away the stigma of refugees are just refugees. So whoever does not understand it yet, I think this is the best place to start. This is the show to start with.
That's right, it was a fantastic play, and it's great to see these important stories being told in our local theatre scene. Now, joining us today to talk about the show is Pacific Hajinamano, who is one of the stars of the show. Morning, Pacific.
Morning.
So, for the people who weren't able to make it along to the play, can you tell us a bit about it and the different stories that were involved in it?
The people who didn't had time to come, what I can tell them is the stories based on true stories. We decided to combine our stories from different corners of Africa. Like I was born from Rwanda, Eric was born from Rwanda but raised up in different locations of Africa, and Levi is from Sudan, Sanet from Ethiopia. So we came together as a team based here in Brisbane, and we came up with our stories to tell Australian communities on how we came here in Australia. Like it's all journey from Africa to Australia.
So before the show, Pacific, we were talking, you've got an amazing story yourself and this features in the play. Could you tell our viewers a little bit about how you ended up in Australia?
How I came here in Australia, I'll start a bit like how it began. I left my country of origin, which was Rwanda, in 1994. That was due to tribal between Tutsis and Hutus, where like almost closer to 1 million of people died in that war. So I managed to escape with the whole parents, but definitely when we got to Kibero refugee camp, it was a massive camp where a combination of people gathered together to save their lives through protection of UNHCR and the UN. But later on, the same enemies who wanted to take the life of people, innocent people, I mean, they still attacked the camp, and that's where my father was killed. And I managed to escape with my mother and 5 siblings. And later on, we crossed Burundi, which is a country, and we escaped also running from those enemies again to one of the camp again, which was the Rubirizi refugee camp. That was in DRC, Republic of Congo. And when they attacked again, that was evening, and there was massive rain. And definitely that's where I separated with my parents, my mom, and their 5 siblings. So I didn't see them again until I started managing my own living. By that time I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
And I just kept moving because definitely I couldn't have, there was no option.
Yeah.
So I followed the other refugees, and then where we sleep evening time, working morning, just matter of hiding from the enemies. Yeah. You can imagine how it was when the bombs are exploding behind you and you don't have even direction where to go. And then I reached to the place called Baraka, that was in Congo DRC. And then I was captured with some other boys, including some of the girls, as you watch some of the footage describing about my scene. And then when I was captured, I was recruited as one of the child soldiers. And then from there, it was a big life, and like, it was like animal life.
Yeah.
So I managed to escape.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Pacific. That's just one of the stories you'd see in the play I Am Here.